So your Spanish lavender and your Portuguese lavender are not going to do very well in colder environments. You want the English lavenders. Some that I would recommend are, of course, Phenomenal. Phenomenal is probably the most hardy of them all, or at least they appear to be. Munstead's a good another one. It's a good hardy variety. Hidcote, Hidcote, I believe, another real hardy variety. Those are your English lavenders that seem to do well in cooler environments. Now, the French lavenders, the Spanish and Portuguese, they are probably going to struggle. You know, there's some benefits, like some of them bloom a couple times a year, which is, you know, attractive. But I would really be cognizant of the variety of lavender and make sure that you know, find the one that's, you know, has proven to do well in your environment. So these are all Phenomenal. They're doing good. I don't know if you remember how small these were. When I put those in, they were in the fall. These were about, oh, maybe this big. So they like their environment, it appears. They like what they have here. And as you can see, this one here, the deer are leaving them alone, because this is a highly populated area for deer. And they're leaving them alone, which I'm really grateful for. But these are all Phenomenal lavender. And I was thinking of doing over here Grasso, because I like they're gonna have a higher oil content than some of your French and your Portuguese lavender. So, but I don't know that they're gonna do well. They'll probably do well down here, because we're in Tennessee. It's more milder. If I was in Michigan or somewhere up north, I don't think the Grasso would do well. So I might be able to get away with it. I might try it. Try a few rows of it and just see what happens. And I might try a few rows of the Hidcote as well. But just really be aware of the variety of lavender you want. You know, if you're down in Florida, most likely you'll do well with, you know, the French lavender. See, this is the, well, they call this Sensational. This is American Meadows. This is their version of Phenomenal, I believe. Anyway, that's doing really, really well. Nice and healthy. These are all just I got some weeds, you know. Even in the wintertime, weeds seem to do well. Which, that's why I have the weed barrier around it. You know, and I have been reading a little bit about weed barriers. Some people are fans of them, others not so much, because they're petroleum based. And, you know, the thought is petroleum gets into your soil system, and, you know, that's not a good thing, which I agree. But I just gotta weigh the pros with the cons, and you know, I'm afraid that I'm just gonna have tons and tons of weeds. Some of these may need to be replaced. We'll see in the springtime how they're doing. Yes, I don't know. I need to get a rock or something to keep these down. So, these are all doing pretty well. I'm excited to see what they'll look like in the springtime. So, of course, these were put in the fall. They don't look like much now. But by those will actually, these will bloom in they will grow so much in the spring and bloom and be good to go. But like I said before, you probably don't want to go ahead and harvest anything the first year. So this one is 1 year old. That's a 1 year old. So that is harvestable in the spring. Or actually, for here, it'll be June. Late spring, I guess, early summer. These are all yearlings. These are all 1 year old. Those are 1 year old. These are put in the fall, so they're not quite 6 months old. These are all the same, put in the fall, not quite a year old, or quite 6 months old. 6 months. So, yeah, so the jury's still out on the weed paper. I think over here, I'm not going to do any weed barrier. And I'm going to see how much. And then what I'm going to do is put bark mulch between the rows. Just to keep, you know, the lateral weeds. We have a lot of Bermuda here that grows laterally. It's really a fight. And to keep those from overtaking everything. So that maybe the bark mulch will keep that at bay a little bit. Plus it'll also give a nice walking environment between the rows. However, this lowers pH. Bark mulch is going to lower the pH a little bit, which, you know, the lavender like a little higher pH. So that may have a counteractive effect. We'll see. But you know, it's still trial and error, and I don't know what the right answers are. So we'll see over there. I'm gonna try it without the weed barrier and see if that helps, and just kind of monitor the weed population. And another benefit to not using paper is you don't always have to come out and adjust it. That's kind of a nuisance, I'm telling you. Because I've probably adjusted these 10 times. You got to make sure the plant's, you know, getting direct sunlight. And if the weed barrier is over the top of it, it's going to hurt that plant and photosynthesis. So, I don't know. Jury's still out. We're going to give it one more season, and then we're going to reevaluate. And I got to take all the weed barrier off. I'll consider doing that, because this just overtakes everything. But what do you think of my pond? We had a humongous rain last couple days ago, 3 or 4 days ago, and that's why I'm in boots today. Walking here between my paths is kind of muddy. Although it's dried out today, we got a beautiful day. February 2nd, we got 60, probably 5 degrees. Anyway, my water line has just, I mean, it's come up 4 or 5 inches, it seems like, in the last week. As you can see, my overflow valve, I guarantee you that was overflowing in this rain. So it's just massive. This is as big as it'll ever be because it's at the overflow valve. So, which is good, because it won't come out any farther, you know, close to my road bed, which is what I want. I don't want it to get too crazy. But yeah, it's just massive. So it'll make a nice backdrop when these all start blooming in spring, and just be beautiful. But I wanted to make a quick, have a quick shout out to, because my mom was just visiting and she asked me that question. Well, why is my lavender not doing as well as yours? I said, well, it's probably the variety you have. You just really got to be conscientious of the variety and make sure it's conducive to your environment. So, to recap, if you're up north, if you're in a cooler environment, I'd say anything north of zone 7, you probably want to stick with the phenomenal Hidcote, probably Grasso, and Munstead. those are English varieties. If you're farther down south, you can probably get away with your other French and Spanish and Portuguese lavender. That may be your problem. So just be mindful of that, and of course be mindful of your soil content, your soil composition, and make sure it drains well. It gets a lot of sun. It doesn't need an overabundance of rain or of water. Just make sure it drains well. It does not. None of the lavender like wet feet. So you got to make sure that it drains well. And initially, when you put it in the ground, give it a nice, consistent watering of a couple days, probably worth. Not all in one day, but water it the first day good, come back, water it the second and third day pretty good, and then just let nature take its course. If you can put them on drip lines, that's great, but they just need a few drops. I mean, you don't want to flood them. They will not perform for you if you flood them. So just wanted to do a quick update on this beautiful February day when it's nice and sunny, and more or less check on the lavender and the pond. So I hope you all are doing well, staying warm wherever you're at, and thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon.